I'm Sarah Gore, and this is Open House. We are all about spare and minimalist style this week. We're with architect turned fashion designer Luis Fernandez at his sleek Chelsea pad. We take a look at an Upper West Side townhouse with a stunning sculptural staircase. We visit the unique Tribeca loft of executive Kevin Roberts. Jeff Troyer brings a zen-like tranquility to his client's home in Sherman Oaks. But first, architect Stephen Ehrlich takes us on a tour of a dream project, his very own home in Venice Beach, California.
When you walk into this house, you're compressed way down, and then you explode into this grand space.
Welcome to Open House. This week I'm coming to you from this modern apartment on the Upper East Side. This bright and airy triplex penthouse features a clean and contemporary aesthetic throughout. The loft-like open floor plan of this living and dining area encourages grand entertaining both inside and out on the wraparound terrace overlooking Park Avenue. Large windows deliver show-stopping views, and high ceilings add to the sense of spaciousness. With 7 bedrooms, including a tranquil master suite, this home is the epitome of uptown sophistication and downtown cool. We are getting started in Venice, Los Angeles at the home of architect Stephen Ehrlich. Stephen built his unique home to dissolve the barriers between the inside and out. Using steel, wood, and concrete, he created a unique and private urban sanctuary that's both sustainable and stylish. Check it out.
Hi, my name is Stephen Ehrlich. I am the founding partner of Ehrlich Yanai Reed Cheney Architects within Los Angeles, and I live here in this house that I designed almost 15 years ago. This house is my very personal expression of multicultural modernism, which is a philosophy that guides our work. Let's take a look. One of the first things you see about this house is that there's a large exoskeleton, but it actually is an armature for shades, which I use for sun control. I've embraced using materials that actually weather and form a patina and are not painted or coated. So the rusted steel makes its own natural weathering process. There's also recycled plastic and sawdust, and I use that as siding, and I also have burnished plaster where you see the mark of the craftsman with the hand trowel. So when you walk into this house, you're compressed way down. The ceiling is just a little bit higher than 7 foot. And then you explode into this grand space. And that experience of compression and openness is quite exhilarating and thrilling. The house is very much about how indoor space connects to outdoor space and how it fuses. In this great room, all of the materials that are on the exterior are brought inside. You've got the concrete block, you've got the steel, you've got hand-burnished plaster. Overall, it's a cohesive volume. The space can transform itself, the doors can open, it can extend into the outside. One of my favorite spots is standing on this glass bridge. This, in a way, is the power spot because you're floating within the larger volume of the great room, and it's a very dynamic and exciting place to be. From the bridge, you actually get to feel the entire space of the great room. You see the TV area, the kitchen, dining, it all fuses together. It's woven. Continuing with the flow of space, let's go on upstairs and check out the bedroom. In this house, the higher we go, the more privacy we have and the greater the views. The master bedroom is great because you're in amongst the trees, there's a beautiful outdoor terrace, and we can look down into the family court. In the family court, it's really an outdoor room. There's cushioned seating area, there's a fire pit, barbecue, there's a lot of wonderful activities, and many, many succulents, which are like mini living sculptures. The house has great transparency and porosity. It connects to the outdoors, you see through spaces, and they all flow to outdoor courtyards. So there's a sense of enclosure, but a sense of openness at the same time. And from this perch, I can see it all, I can feel it all, and I get a great sense of space on this property. Thank you for coming on this tour. I really enjoyed having you experience my vision of California contemporary modernism. Come again and see you next time.
Whenever an architect designs his own home, you know it's going to be an imaginative expression of his aesthetic. Coming up just after a short break, we are in Sherman Oaks, California with designer Jeff Troyer. We'll see you in just a few. Welcome back to Open House. Now we're with Los Angeles-based designer Jeff Troyer at his client's home in Sherman Oaks. Jeff used the landscape as his inspiration, using exterior colors that blend in with the hills. He opened up the interior entertaining spaces so that it flows to the outside. The result is a home as perfect for entertaining as it is for laid-back California living. See why.
Hi, my name is Jeff Troyer. I'm an architect in Los Angeles. Welcome to one of my favorite projects in Sherman Oaks. The main objectives for this project were a real sense of zen and tranquility. The project sits on a prominent canyon street, and we really wanted a sense of calm that you don't realize that you're in the middle of Los Angeles. Let's go take a look around. When you enter through the front doors of the house, there's a compressed 8-foot ceiling, and then as you enter into the house further, you burst into this double height foyer, which gives you a great sense of space. The first thing you see when you walk in this house is this dramatic winding stairway which wraps around the stone fireplace. The foyer sets the tone for the entire house and flows immediately into the living room where my clients love to entertain. The light limestone floor tiles and the ebony paneling in the back of the living room really provided the contrast that my clients were looking for. The furniture pulls a lot of organic colors and fabrics to really get a zen feeling in here. I used a double-sided fireplace in this room. It's open to the foyer and also open to the living room. I think the organic nature of the stone really grounds the entire room and creates a sense of calm. The living room and dining room are open to one another for easy flow when my clients are entertaining, and the ebony wood paneling across the back creates a really nice backdrop. One of my favorite parts of this project was designing this wall. It not only acts as a backdrop to the living room and the dining room, but it's functional. Another feature of this storage wall is this 6-foot concealed pocket door at the end, which separates the living room from a billiard room. This room was originally supposed to be an office, but we decided to change it into a billiard room, and I'm happy we did. Now, moving from the billiard room into the dining room, it was really important for my clients and me to have a nice view through every window. You can see the window behind me here perfectly frames a piece of bronze art that's one of my clients' favorites. I worked with the landscape designers to strategically create a wall of greenery to block off the canyon road that's immediately beyond. At one side of the dining room is a pass-through into the kitchen. My clients wanted to maintain a visual connection between the two rooms, but not have them completely open to each other. Now we're in the kitchen of the house, which is truly the center of activity. One of my favorite times of day in the kitchen is late afternoon when the sun shines through the skylight and hits the backsplash tile. The backsplash tile runs from the countertop all the way to the underside of the cabinets, and I really love the way the light hits it. We installed it over on this side, and my clients loved it so much we decided to wrap it all the way around the refrigerator and run it to the ceiling. Now let's go check out the bedrooms upstairs. In the master bedroom, it's all about peace and tranquility and a spectacular view of the valley. There's something special about living in the hills of Los Angeles, and I really wanted to capture that essence. I vaulted the ceiling in this space so that it's low along the bed wall and raises up to really focus on the view. There's a built-in fireplace and a concealed TV above with closets on either side. From the master bedroom, you can also see down into the backyard. We've got a large pool, a hot tub, and an expansive teak deck that looks out over the valley. On any given day, you can find my clients entertaining out by the pool. Thank you so much for joining me on the tour of one of my favorite projects. My clients are very good friends of mine, and this was really a labor of love for me.
Coming up just after the break, we are in Tribeca at a unique minimalist loft. We'll see you in just a bit. You're watching Open House. Now we are in Tribeca at the Loft of executive and author Kevin Roberts. This gallery-like home was completely customized, from the deep windows and skylights to the gorgeous limestone floors, walls, and ceilings. Kevin wanted a calm space, but one that also inspired him and his guests. It's got just under 2,500 square feet of stylish, creative living.
Hi, I'm Kevin Roberts. We're in Tribeca, which I think is right at the heart of everything that's exciting in downtown New York. There's lots of New York noise out there, lots of New York excitement, but then you come up here, and as soon as you open the door, you can feel the silence, you can feel the calm. So I'm sitting right now in the gallery, which is a terrific gathering place. There's inspiration on every wall, there's freedom. It feels sort of like a gallery in a museum, but it's not untouchable. We want people to be able to interact with all the space, and they do. For me, creativity is about light, it's not about darkness. So I wanted to get light to come in so that we could feel the outside and be open to that. So we put some pieces in here. We chose them architecturally. We got the How High is the Moon chair that's in MoMA. We got a big bubble chair from the 60s that you can swing on and sit on. So we really made it slightly more intimate and more usable. There's a big brown chair, which comes from the Austin Powers movie, and it's the chair of Dr. Evil. So that gets quite a few selfies put in there at all hours of the day. What's driven me in my career is constant disruption, innovation, and creativity. So I thought, why bother with a kitchen, man? Let's create a space for people to come together and eat around this great table. Probably one of my favorite pieces. We had it handmade in Indonesia from one piece of wood, one tree. It's not a dining table, it's not a kitchen table. So they walk around the apartment, they look, they feel inspired, and then boom, they sit down there and they want to talk. And so around us, you know, we need all the accoutrements of life, right? So you need a wine cellar, everybody needs a wine fridge. But we wanted to put storage in here. So in here we chose the same teak and we put everything hidden behind these cabinets that we have here. So everything that you want is here, but you only see beauty. So there's wow factors everywhere you turn. So we created a sleeping space that is simply for sleeping in. It has nothing else. Beautiful bed, beautiful light, beautiful walls around you, and you go in there not to be dominated by today's rampant technology, but to go in there to sleep. One of the things I like about great spaces is not knowing what's around the corner, not knowing what's next. So we deliberately built a staircase that twists and turns 3 times, and you wonder where it's going to. Then you walk into this space, which is a work environment. Big plexiglass desk, staring right down Hudson Street, right down at life and vigor. We have a terrific thing in the ceiling which gives you infinity blue sky. And then that takes you out onto a terrific, terrific deck where we can get 20 to 50 people up there looking at the river, looking at the rooftops, and looking down at the streets of the best part of New York. I hope you got the feeling of how much I love this place. I loved it when I created it. I've loved living in it. It's been a real pleasure sharing it with you.
Inspired by anything you've seen on the show so far? Well, check out our curated collection of home decor on Amazon. To shop the look, just visit amazon.com/shop/openhousetv. Coming up next, we check out a reimagined Upper West Side townhome. We'll see you after the break. Welcome back to Open House. Now we're at an Upper West Side townhouse designed by architect Michele Busirivici. Michele's clients wanted the property to feel more like a loft than a multi-floor townhome. Let's join Michele to see what he did.
Hello, my name is Michele Busirivici. I am principal of S4A, Space for Architecture, and welcome to the Upper West Side. We were hired by our client to renovate this 1900 townhouse. It's, as you can see, very traditional, the exterior, as it was designed a long time ago, but you'll be surprised on the interior of the house. So let's go inside. My clients were a bit nervous about moving from the apartment where they were living and moving into a townhouse with 5 stories. The idea that came to my mind was to basically work with the loft concept. But in this case, of course, it's going to be a vertical loft. The loft feel starts from the first floor, where from the entry hall all the way into the kitchen dining. The idea in here was to make it a sculptural element and to be as much as possible in line with the aesthetic of the rest of the house. So as you can see, the kitchen is white and in its entirety, except for this niche that we created underneath the top cabinets. The kitchen shared the same space with the dining room. Our decision here was to give the dining room what it's supposed to have, beautiful paintings. In our case, the painting is this beautiful floor-to-ceiling, wall-to-wall partition that we introduced. This glazed wall not only allows them to overlook their garden, but also give them a quintessential New York view. Being this a townhouse, we had to design a stair. And the stair was the one element in the house that gave us the opportunity to guarantee a vertical continuity between floors. So we gave the stair this shape that reads almost like a white snake that wraps itself up all the way to the top level. So here we are in the living room of the house. A defining feature is the fireplace. Here, as well as in the rest of the house, the idea was to keep the furniture to a minimum, to let the architecture speak for itself. I hope you could see the passion that went into this project. It is in fact my belief that the key element to the success of an architectural project is a great collaboration between the client, the architect, and the general contractor. Thank you for coming on the tour. Grazie. Arrivederci.
Coming up after the break, architect turned designer Luis Fernandez shows us his chic Chelsea loft. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Open House. Now we're in West Chelsea with architect turned fashion designer Luis Fernandez. Luis designed his family's Chelsea loft to be a reflection of his aesthetic. The home has an ethereal quality, furnishings seem to float, and there's an easy open flow between the entertaining spaces. See for yourself.
Hi, my name is Luis Fernandez. Welcome to my loft in West Chelsea. I'm an architect, trained and practiced for a couple of years before going on into fashion as a menswear designer and creative director. When it came time to design a space that was for myself, I wanted to embed in it a lot of the same concepts and inspiration that I use in fashion. Minimal, luxe, masculine, and even a touch of futurism. When we first got the property, it was a completely white canvas, which is always a designer's dream. We opted for a clear divide between the public and the private areas. The place opens up the moment you step off the elevator. To the left, you have a smaller, more intimate seating area that I positioned by the fireplace. 2 neutral-colored Philippe Starck sofas face each other under an Apparatus Studio Arrow light fixture. It's a comfortable area to sit back and relax and watch TV or have a drink and talk about the day. Lighting is super important to me, and this home happens to have great southern lighting from these 5 large windows. I created these recessed floating trays in the ceiling that help define the areas in the larger volume. They also happen to be a stylish way of concealing the vents. I wanted the fireplace wall to float in the space, so I used the ceiling and the light cove to create that illusion. Beyond that, this bigger, more formal living room opens up. Even though it's supposed to be the more formal living area, I wanted it to be simple, clean, and minimal. This large geometric carpet defines the area. All the furniture is of a lower profile, accentuating the ceiling heights. And I wanted each piece to feel like it's floating in the space. These cantilevered Milo Bauman chairs are a perfect example. This is actually where everyone ends up hanging out after a dinner party. Speaking of dinner, follow me to the dining room. The dining room is at the center of the entertaining spaces connecting the kitchen with the living rooms. It's anchored by this geometric concrete dining table that I designed and paired with this similar light fixture. To create a softer and warmer feel, I used a woolly flannel wallpaper on the ceiling and the walls. It's always important to carry certain design features throughout any space. It keeps things feeling cohesive and unified. One example are the bleached hardwood floors that run throughout. Another example are these vintage walnut chairs that match beautifully with the cabinetry in the kitchen. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at my home, which is a perfect example of my design aesthetic. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for watching. Like what you see on the show? Well, be sure to subscribe to our channel. We have so many more beautiful homes to share. It's all about love. Share these homes, you know?